it, just go up and clear your cookies for the site, and then you can read.
Cool.
All right, we are live. Hello, hello.
Hello.
Welcome to another week of Doctors and Dungeon Masters. I am Kelly Breivik, PhD student at UWM, and I am the Dungeon Master.
Howdy.
Hello.
My name is Corey Hernai. I am also a PhD student at UWM in the English department, but I'm in Plan C because we divvy up things by plans, which creates interesting institutional problems. I shouldn't say problems, just dynamics. About interesting dynamics, let's say that. Problems is a bit loaded. Anyways, I'm playing Taratha, the Dibwiz.
Hey, I'm Layla Zeller, PhD candidate in the anthropology department, where we don't have plans, but we do have fields, and those are just as problematic, so it's all good. And I am playing Tolly, the cleric.
I'm Eric Kirsting. I am a PhD student at UW Milwaukee. Stuff, and I'm playing Willow, cowgirl.
Nice.
Hell
And if
yeah.
you, oh, go ahead.
I said I love how Corey's the one that says howdy, and Willow's like, and Eric's the one that's the cowgirl. Like that just like is very great to me. I just kind of put that together right now
Yup.
because I know Corey says howdy a lot. So
He does, because here's the thing. I know that one day I'm going to go through the audio and capture all the bits where Corey's like, Plan C for blah, 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 blah. And I know that I'm going to have to do a howdy one while I'm at it.
You know, I'm really just one day, I'm just like trying. Each day is just a different like reiteration of trying to like make it a joke, but it never works out. One day I'll make a good joke out of it. I think the punchline is just I just keep trying and failing, which makes it a metaphor for life.
I hate you.
metaphor for PhD programs, everybody.
And I'm not sure if you noticed, Corey, but I have a nice shiny new token for Taratha because I never got one from you.
Excuse me, you did so.
Tiefling option, so you know, it's
I thought you put one together.
No, he just sent me a link. He sent me a link to a picture of literally Elsa.
Yes, it did. That literally did happen.
Okay, I got you.
But yeah, what happened last decade on Doctors and Dungeon Masters?
Well, Eric wasn't here, right? Was that the time Eric wasn't here?
Correct.
Okay, because I felt like I was in the presence of Eric in the past week, but that was all in chat. Okay, so for the viewers at home, we finally went and talked to the Ashina clan. We finished their trials. We fought a fucking ancient gold dragon.
Bronze.
Was that it?
Close.
Bronze. Okay, not gold. Just different ages, you know. So we finally got to talk to the Ashina clan. Willow really wasn't there, so that was, you know, interesting.
But we'll have Eric recap his conversation character. But yeah.
Basically, it was a lore bomb. So if you've ever seen Pacific Rim, there's like a montage where you see people like getting into the big, you know, metal suits and shit, and they kind of explain the idea of drift compatibility and how they work and operate. That's literally what this episode was, but for 2 hours.
Yup. So yeah, you get the sense, oh, but there's also something other really important, because you do have 2 new companions.
Oh yeah, Rock and Gravel.
Yeah.
Tali, in her infinite wisdom, against the ancient bronze dragon, called upon her, you know, devil daddy, for help. And
no. He is your devil daddy. He is your devil daddy. He is my cleric patron.
Okay, my devil daddy by birth, by blood. Your devil daddy by choice, ostensibly.
I don't like that. I don't. Because there are some jokes where that ends up being with me being your stepmom, and I just don't know how I feel about
I wasn't going in that direction. I hadn't even considered that a possibility.
You're the one that used the word daddy.
Right, but when I think of like daddy relationships, I really, you know what? I'm not gonna go there. We're not gonna go into fetish. We're not gonna go into kinks. We're not gonna go into any of that. But
But Rock and Clink are chain devils, so take that how you want to, given the context of this conversation.
yeah. She asked her daddy for chains,
Oh my
which
god.
are used as whips and other. Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing, and that happened, and they're still there. So they're
Yeah.
just kind of chilling, and they may or may not be drift compatible.
Yep.
They will be, because I need that in my life during Corona.
We all need that.
We all. So you are dismissed to go sort of explore the what's it called, the city a little bit, and to regroup with Willow. You are told to report back here just so that you're walked over to dinner. So the elders are not going to be the ones taking you, but you are told that you will be able to meet sort of a liaison to take you to the next place. And then while you are having dinner, they are going to set up a place for you to be sleeping. So you exit the building and wait around a couple minutes before Willow is escorted out as well. But coming from a different, an adjacent but different building. What do you do?
How you doing, Willow? I feel like it's been weeks since I've seen you.
It's been like an hour.
It feels like. It's an affective response. It's not real.
Well, did you get what you came for?
We're on our way.
Yes, we've learned quite a bit, and we kind of have a big task in front of us.
Yeah.
Incidentally, a task that might require either your help or, yeah, it might require your help.
Sounds about right.
I figure you kind of already know what's going on, or do I need to explain this?
Well, let me know what you know. I don't know if they're gonna share the same information with each of us.
Oh,
why don't we go sit down somewhere and talk rather than standing here in the middle of this place? Because we're like in the middle of like two buildings. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Let's go find a place to sit down and talk.
Yeah. So give me a history check.
Who?
Whoever wants to try and scout a nice place to sort of sit and talk. Well, just, city, like, sort of, I feel like history is a good check for...
16.
History. I got a 28.
Jesus Christ. So,
I'm intelligent.
Yeah, so Tali finds a place that is pretty, like, removed from where people are walking. There's like benches that you can sit down on, but then Taratha goes, oh, what about over there? And you see a fountain that is bubbling with water, so it's providing a bit of a sort of sonic cover for conversation, because you are getting Tali and Taratha are getting stares from the people that pass by. They're double taking and then walking and kind of letting you go on your way, so they're not being very pushy or being rude, but you are definitely not something that they expect to see here. So you are able to sit at a fountain that's about, a 5-minute walk from where you left.
Over there seems fine. How about that?
Sure.
Great.
So does your clan stare at outsiders like they do here?
Not many outsiders been around those parts. Maybe they'd stare, but then again, they're pretty small, not as big as this, so maybe we would just get used. I don't know.
Well, I think we might find out soon.
Yeah, why is that?
Well, as we discussed back in the alleyway, what we know is simply that there are these what were they called? What were they called? War
Darots?
machines,
Oh, the Warforged.
Warforged. Sorry, it was on the tip of my tongue. The Warforged here can be piloted by, well, ostensibly two people that need to be ostensibly
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
soulmates.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know that.
And well, we need a lot of people from the Ashina clan. Your Ashina clan.
Oh well, then they're just asking us to do the same bullshit.
That's what I figured.
I don't even know why they split us up then.
It's almost as if the DM just had to handle the players being in different places.
Yeah, we got to talk to the elders, and I don't know who you talked to, but it seemed pretty important.
Talk to an idiot.
Wow.
Well, you seem rather perturbed. What irks you about either this situation or what they're asking us to do?
Well, they remind me too much of you, I suppose.
I will take that as a compliment.
They're so overly concerned with fate and how that might weave into their little plans. Kind of sad.
We saw Zola.
What?
We saw Zola. She did the thingy where you switch places. I don't really fully understand it, but
Sure.
that was
How's she doing? Talked to her like last night or the night before. She was doing okay then.
seems to be happy. She was very excited to show me that trick.
Yeah, well, that's good. Evidently, there's some poor son of daughter of a bitch hanging around here who I could switch bodies with, but too stubborn. So they're pretty lonely, I guess. Hey, what do
Holly
they?
just kind of gives you this questioning face, like she didn't really fully understand, like, what you meant by that, but isn't gonna ask.
As well, maybe they didn't explain it to you fully well. I guess some people, who are of the Ashina persuasion, or as they like to call the outsiders, the Dareths. But I'm just gonna call them all Ashina because they all piss me off equally. Uh, they they have a soulmate, somebody who's tied to them by fate, and pretty extreme, I guess. If one person dies, the other person dies. It's just unfortunate, I guess. But you gotta like open yourself up to like this like all encompassing spirit mumbo jumbo. And then you get to, talk with your little soulmate, and then when they die, you die. So there's somebody hanging out around here who I could in theory like swap bodies with and stuff, but since I'm not too willing, I guess it just hasn't happened. So I was just commenting on they're the odd woman out.
You seem particularly on edge, Willow.
Oh
Also,
yeah.
aren't you Ashina? Shouldn't you say we?
Oh, yeah, sure. I could say we if that makes you feel more comfortable.
No, I don't. I just. It's fine if you don't. It just surprised me. That's all.
Yes, I am. I am. I'm not Ashina to them. I'm Dareth. And then I suppose to the Dareth, I am a Dareth, being Joanne and Zinnia. So I'm like a step second cousin or something like that to them. At least
Well,
that's what they think of me.
well, it sounds like, and sorry if I'm being forward here, but it sounds like you just kind of want to wash your hands of all of this and just go back home.
Oh, I can't,
Why?
even if I wanted to. Oh, because they're gonna get
Why?
my daughter killed, of course.
What do you mean?
Well, they're really they're really hog tied up here. They think that fate has decreed that every every member of the clan must come to fight, or else there's no hope for victory. And so that means the children too. So I got to stick around and make sure that nothing too bad happens.
Yes. I mean, be good to support Zola. She seems
Well, it'd be
kind
good
of
if
excited about it.
well, yeah, but it'd be good, if they weren't busy sticking their noses where it don't belong. That would be nice. But yeah, so I mean, they probably charged us with a different tasks. I mean, I've been specifically charged with um persuading the Dareth clan to uh to come join arms with the Ashina.
We
And
weren't given a task so much as just kind of told what the Ashina are more or less planning and doing, kind of like the plan of action.
so yeah, they're kind of just assuming that the Ashina will go with them.
They
With
did task you just to kind of above table. They would have tasked you with having outsiders, like getting a list of vetted outsiders that can withstand the trials. So you do have some task out of them, even though they would use them as a backup.
So yeah, we're getting outsiders. Cleek
so like
Macadito, the
yeah.
Montgomerys.
Oh,
Not the
there.
Montgomerys. They're weak ass little people.
Absolutely
Not bringing them
100%
here.
the Montgomerys. Um,
No, no,
100%.
no. Also, we don't want to bring the Montgomerys here. You're basically
Why?
already a spy for them. We don't want them to have their own eyes on it.
I feel like it's kind of you have to admit they seem kind of impressed that there is a that they have knowledge of this place when the Sheena have worked pretty tirelessly to keep this place concealed.
Well, they're bookie nobles. That's their whole job.
It doesn't seem to me like they knew that much. They had like a location and an idea.
Well, I don't know how much. I don't know. They seem pretty peeved and then intrigued by the idea that um, anyone could have this knowledge. The location is pretty important in terms of locating this place. If that were to disseminate, um, that could bring an assortment of problems, as you can imagine.
You got any other ideas for folks to bring on up?
Well, I was calling up some of my own people. The couple's a part of the.
I assume they won't have to slay that big ass dragon in order to complete the trials, right?
I'm sure they
No, they
will,
do.
Well,
but it's fine. My people are desert people.
yeah, your people might be able to. Click and Akadito might be able to do it. Don't know about the Montgomerys or any soft hand.
Sometimes, there's this big prejudice against soft hands, and we get quite a bit done. Believe it or not.
Yeah, but they aren't magical like you are. You're
Montgomery's magical.
soft-handed, but not like the Montgomerys are soft-handed. They don't even have any offense. Did you see them fighting in the desert? They were just like, cower here while everyone else does work. Nah.
I think there's a lot they could contribute, especially if we're dealing with rather powerful forces. They seem to have a firm grasp of the immensity of the unknown.
Perhaps. Well, yeah, I don't really care for this place too much.
It's a bit weird. I agree. The walls are confining.
Yeah. People are too. Kind of sad. Makes me feel sad.
We're at the precipice of change. We can
Oh
play
my god.
a major hand in altering the course of this world. And you're
Yes,
just
Willow, I
sitting here
agree.
and mocking architecture?
I'm
I'm
not
not.
mocking architecture. I'm saying that I feel claustrophobic in this city.
Yeah, and
That's
I'm.
not architect. That is not mocking architecture. That is explaining experience.
Yeah, I'm surprised there are people with with a bigger stick up their butt than the Dareth, and they live here. This- everyone you see wasn't born.
So,
No, I'm just saying they're like made from sand. Like they make people as they like need them. It's kind of weird. I mean,
I mean,
I was at least born.
that's how we do it. You make people when you need them.
Well, yeah, I'm
And
just saying that they
that's
make
the
people out of the sand, right? There's like no passion to it. Um, not that I'm not saying like they're lesser or worse. I'm just saying like the way
you
that they.
seem to
I
be
don't know, like
saying there.
I am not saying
that's
anything about the specific fucking people, Polly. What I'm trying to say is that like it affects their approach to people, right? They don't view people as people. They view people as like means to an end, right? That's all they are to them. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, I'm sorry.
I don't. I'm not sure. I think if you're soul bound to someone, you have to think of them more than just a commodity. That bond seems real.
who are we to doom these people to their mortal frames? They want to ascend. They want to escape this. And who are we to judge that?
You can judge anything, Taratha. You're like the queen of that.
Mm.
Why? I don't. This is. This is.
Yes, we can be pedantic about this, absolutely.
I'm
However,
not being pedantic. I'm just saying you literally judge everything with the harshest eye. You can't then tell me I can't judge these people. I can judge these people if I want to judge these people.
fine, but we're going to be working with these people, are we not?
I mean, I work with people I judge harshly all the time. She says, staring at Taratha.
Well, then we should at least show some sort of empathy towards their goals and their aspirations and not belittle them for how they're even going to help us in achieving our own goals.
Taratha,
They are not helping me achieve any goals.
Taratha, you're what? One of your skills is belittling people while you convince them to work with you. I've literally seen you do it.
Fair. But I think also,
Bowie.
but also to Willow's point, the idea of life and personhood is conceived here very differently.
Of course.
The world seems larger here in ways I never thought of before.
I kind of feel like the world seems smaller here. They've got big things, but that doesn't really...
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I feel like I can see beyond just the political infighting, the idea of the nation state.
I guess because those are things that you normally care about. Sorry.
It's rare to find a people with a singular goal, and it's admirable. The only ones who are dissenting here is, well, you two.
That's not true at all. We literally have a task to make the dissenters, like, not be dissenters. And literally just had a conversation.
Here.
Aren't they literally here? I thought they were so out of character. I thought they were literally here.
Which ones?
The people who are like, no, don't wake up the Warforged. Nah.
Oh no, like the Ashina.
That's my clan.
Yeah, like the Daroths, and we're talking about ancient, like way, way, way back, like even before magic was completely like cut off from this planet. That's when the descent happened.
Okay, so I thought, like, when the Ashina were talking, I thought there was, like, the creator of these things was still here and leading, like, a group of people that were dissenters.
Gotcha. Okay, so I'll
that is what I understood, and now I'm like, well, fuck, I missed something.
Yeah, I'll just give a quick TLDR. The Ashina city was created by the Keeper of the Weave, which Taratha did Tali did an intelligence check, and what you know as an arcane artificer they call the Keeper of the Weave. So the Ashina were created by the original arcane artificer, and they lived with this planet for many, many years in pretty much like utopian peace, and they had dreams of they dream of the memories of their descendants, not of their ancestors. Then they were able, because of that, they were able to sort of tell a sort of end of the world thing because their dreams became fewer and fewer. But some of them started dreaming about new things, which made them realize, oh, maybe the end of the world is not going to happen. But some of them were like, well, it's like a 1 in 70 million chance. Like, it's, just let it be. So before it came to bloodshed over this argument, they decided to split ways. The Daroths, which is the Ashina clan that Willow comes from, they went away, whereas these ones stayed. And that was shortly before magic was cut off from the plains.
So wait, so is our task to get the Daroths back here and, like, work with them?
That's my task.
Yeah. Like, you would be expected to help if Willow were to ask for help, but that's that is more Willow's wheelhouse than your wheelhouse. What you and Taratha are meant to do is, at this point I assume that you're planning on becoming drift compatible, and it's to essentially train yourselves to become drift compatible while you're inviting others to come and do the trial, so that by the time they come, you are then able to train them how you learned, so then they would have a point of reference. And they would still prefer Ashina over outsiders, but they are willing to have outsiders as backup. And you get the sense that they are not willing to be open border by any means. They are only allowing like the highest of like confidentiality, and like if they end up like staying around, they would still probably wipe the memory of the people just of this place's existence. Like they're not going to completely like rewrite who they are. It'll just be like fuzziness if they try and remember exactly what they did. They'll remember they did something important and there was a great battle, but they don't really know where, when, why. But they're yeah. Willow, can you give me a wisdom saving throw?
I have advantage.
What? Did you say, do you have advantage?
No, I have advantage
Oh,
on
go for it.
20.
Sounds good. All right.
I don't know that I made a wisdom save, right?
Correct. And I swear I'm not copying what you did yesterday. I had this thing planned. Taratha, you notice with your true sight a little
Wait, we're done talking?
No, no, no. While you're talking, as you're talking, you notice a little scryan eye pop over Willow's shoulder.
Wait, I saved.
Did you though?
Oh, great. A fucking natural 19 plus 8 doesn't save. Great.
I mean, there's ways that there's negative things. They may have something of yours.
Scrying can get real nasty real quick.
Yeah.
You probably got like a -10. They might be so familiar to you that, yeah.
Well, it's not that they're familiar, but if they have a possession or if they have like a lock of hair, like that would pull it down.
All right, it just sucks because this is like the one thing I'm good at, but I don't. It doesn't matter. I mean, I have a missing body part. They must have my leg.
Christ.
I mean, you are good at a lot of things. Let's just be clear.
Oh yeah,
Mhm.
no. But like wisdom saving throws are like the thing that Willow's best at, probably.
Yeah.
Besides like swinging a sword.
Mhm.
But anyways, it's fine. Crying up here is a.
Seems like someone is watching you, Willow.
Great. I'm sure it's probably. Well, all right. Well, if it is you, then it's that moron I was just talking to before I started talking to you guys.
It's not like they can hear us or anything, but, you know, they can see us.
They can't.
No, they can hear.
They can hear through scrying?
Yep.
Yeah, that's how scrying works.
Yeah, arcane eye you can only see through.
But I assume Taratha would know that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, scrying is a 5th level divination spell, so if Taratha didn't know how it worked, that'd be kind of a bummer. Well, so what should we do? We're being watched.
Well, it depends if they are targeted you or targeted this area. If they targeted this area, the scry won't move, otherwise it will move.
Well, I guess let's take a walk. And I'll get up and start moving.
It stays for a moment and then disappears.
Probably knew we were watching them, or that we knew that they knew that they were watching us. Something like that. God. Well, I guess we can sit back down if they're not gonna watch us anymore. How do you see that, by the way? You just see invisible things? I didn't see anything.
Yes.
Well, yeah, so how are you guys feeling about all this?
I don't really know.
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of have to do what we're doing, but I don't know that it's really a bad thing. Seems like they're on the right, trying to do the right thing. I think.
Maybe.
So
Yeah.
Oh,
Go
sorry.
ahead.
No, go ahead. I thought that the conversation was dying down, but keep going.
I think I'm feeling a little overwhelmed. Like, just watches like I think like the anger kind of pulls away from Willa's face and kind of an exacerbated or tired expression.
There's quite a lot to take in. That's true.
Well, I kind of get
Oh, you cut
I,
off. Oh, can you?
no, I'm just taking my time.
Oh, sorry.
I get the the details of what they're doing stuff. That's not overwhelming me as much. I think more I just feel emotionally run down. I I mean I didn't bring Zola here for a reason. I don't trust these people.
Well, Zola wants to come here. It's her choice.
No, yeah, but first of all, it she's only 13. The second of all, it's that I come here and I'm trying to learn. I go up to talk to this woman, and then the first fucking words out of her mouth are are about my niece, and it's like you just can't escape it. And I I've tried very hard to raise her, but and I ain't really cut out for it. I mean, I've really only ever been close to one person in my life. I guess now two, but I mean, she died. I think I just have been piling up those feelings and kind of ignoring them. But because I had something to do, or I had a little girl to raise. But the older she gets and the more adult like she becomes, it's like the more lonely I feel.
I've heard about this phenomenon. But she's not going anywhere. You know? If it's up to her. She'll run the bookshop for the rest of her life. Y'all
I
have
think
a
she,
petting zoo by the time she's 18.
man, uh, I mean, I think she'll grow bored of it. She'll grow
Have you
bored of
seen
me.
that? Have you seen that girl read? I've seen that girl read. She flips pages faster than I can like figure out what book she's reading. And I mean, for all intents and purposes, no matter her age, she's more or less an adult now. Got home from the desert mostly by herself.
What do you mean by that?
So Tali gets this like sheepish look on her face. She said, "Well, it was send my people or possibly Zola dies." So I sent my people. And then they lost her. But she's fine, so it's fine. She lost them? I'm not really sure which one.
I'm
She
too
was gonna
tired to
escape.
be mad at you.
bound and determined to get out of there. She was gonna do it one way or another.
And I know in your culture that displays some amount of maturity, but where I come from, and that really just displays childness. Still, I don't know why I'm telling you. Never mind.
You're allowed to tell us things. Opening up is it's a good thing. We're friends. But Sola's gonna do whatever she wants to do at this point. I think you've done a good job and will continue to do a good job raising her, but she's had a lot of freedom. Which
Yeah,
means,
in like the past month.
oh, you leave her to run the bookshop all by herself.
I mean, canonically, I mean, she wasn't left to run the bookshop until our first adventure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
So
really? Okay,
yeah,
sorry.
Yeah.
Tolly thought that was like an ongoing thing.
no, Willow was just a a bookshop owner until
Yeah. Like,
Taratha came and was like, "Hey, come do this adventure with me." Anyways,
yo.
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, what's her face? Zola has run the bookshop on her own for maybe a collective 5-6 weeks. Or actually,
Okay.
yeah, about 5 or 6 weeks.
So I mean, yeah,
Between
from
everything.
Willow's perspective, it's been like what 2 months, and our 3 months since we started doing adventures together, and
Oh,
in those
I
three
think
months she went from
Up to
I think it's been
4-ish.
4.
Yeah. 4.
okay,
Yeah.
in those 4 months it's gone from, all right, I have this young girl I'm raising, and she's like never left this bookshop, and she has like few friends. It's like super bookish and very immature, and now we're 4 months later, and now I'm being asked by this crazy sand woman to give up my niece as a child soldier to fight in a big mech. Like, that's 4 months of Willow's life, okay? So
Yo.
I'm
That's
just trying to
fair.
put this into context.
No, that's totally fair. I don't know. You taught her how to have a will of her own. There's something to that.
A willow of her own.
Yeah, but I guess, I mean, I hope she shines brightly, and I hope she's ready, but god damn, I feel like I'm letting her on. And I think that's why I've been so mad at you, Taratha.
Yes.
Because I don't know how much you know, but I mean, it's those same people that you're working with that fucking killed her. And that kills me inside.
They're not the same people.
I mean, your your boy seems to be convinced.
He knows nothing.
Sure. But it just seems to me that putting so much social power in the hands of such a few people, it just leads to this kind of junk happening again and again. And I mean, and I've sworn a vengeance, and if it's somebody you know that's in the way or who is involved, I'm gonna make sure that they go down.
I can't speak to what happened. I'm just facing towards the future.
Sure. Sure. But yeah. That's how I'm feeling.
Is the party ready to sort of sit, go to dinner, and then go to bed?
Yeah.
Is there anything you would want to do in the city before you go to bed that night?
No.
Okay. I just wasn't sure if you wanted to do some exploring or try and figure out, like, more about the people. Like, there's going to be a fair amount of downtime, so if you don't do it tonight, that's totally fine. It's just more of a. Is there any sort of.
Do they have any like bars?
Oh, yeah, they definitely do.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go and I get one hard drink,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm gonna order another, and I'm gonna think better of it, and then I'm gonna go to bed.
Sounds good. You are given a sort of like the Ashina live in the Warforged. There is like an exact balance right now of like the sort of available spaces. So there's they don't clear out a space in a Warforged for you, but there's a sort of office building that they cleared out, so you have the whole place to yourself. It's very roomy. There's a like separate rooms for each of you. There is a place where you can cook, but it's not like a full kitchen. It's essentially like a makeshift, like what people do when they want to make food at work. And before you go to bed, Tali, there is a knock on your door. I'm going to say that it's Kuen that what's it called, leads you to your home. I'm not sure if Tali would mention it, but Tali and Taratha would recognize this as Willow's soulmate. Willow, give me an intelligence check as she's kind of just explaining, where the main, things are. Like, oh, this is where the bar is. This is where the elders is. This is where you can get food.
That one.
Okay, yeah, you don't recognize the voice. But
how would we recognize her?
Because she was there when she swapped places with Zola. Like it's
so it's
Kuen's
Zola's
soulmate.
other.
Yes.
You just
Okay.
You just said Willow's soulmate.
You said
I'm
Willow,
so sorry.
and I was like,
I meant to
how
say.
would the fuck would we even know that?
My mistake. I meant Zola.
Okay. Yeah, that was one of those moments where I was like, wait, how do we know that and Willow doesn't?
No, that was definitely my mistake. They are not, after hearing how Willow is, they're not sending Willow's soulmate as the welcome wagon right now. But once everyone sort of goes into their own spaces, Tali, you do get a knock on the door.
Cool.
I assume you open?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Sure thing. You see Kuen, but instead of her, proper standing, she's got that kind of, comfortable slouch. But she does have a sort of concerned look on her face, and you hear Zola's voice. Can I talk to you now?
Yeah, of course, anytime.
And she'll walk in and close the door, and she'll move over to the. It is a proper bed. It's not like a full-on bed frame, but you can tell that they did their best to make a comfortable living space for you all in a short amount of time. And she sits on the edge of the bed and sort of kicks her feet a little bit, and she goes, "So, how do you trust Taratha?"
Okay, so she will like go over to the other side of the bed and like sit cross-legged on the bed, so she could so they're both at the same height and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
She's not awkwardly standing. I need context before I answer that question. Why? What?
Well, I mean, for the record, I ain't trusting the Alcott boys' word as far as I could throw it. I don't got a lot of good strength on me, but
Well, I mean, it is just hot air, so it's hard to throw.
but I don't know. He just seemed so sure of himself that it made me worried that she might be working on something that might hurt other people, and maybe she
What did he
really
say?
well. He didn't give me a lot of information. I'm not gonna lie, he was vague as all hell, and I didn't like that. But I caught him snooping around the shop when he thought I wasn't looking, and so I scared him. And she does seem pretty proud of herself for being able to like sneak up and spook him, especially because like it's so good
Yeah,
when you catch someone in the act. And she was like,
for sure.
yeah. Um, but he seems to think that she's up to no good doing something with some people that might hurt others. And I don't know. I don't think that Tarith is a bad person at all, but I also wouldn't put it past her to work with other people if she thinks that she'll be able to get the best of them in the end without really thinking what happens in the middle.
I don't disagree with that last statement, but I also think that I'm trying to think about how much Tolly knows, trying to parse it out from what I know.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
About the Alcott's history with Zinnia, or about Taratha's involvement with the purple.
I mean, kind of all of
Art.
it. Like I'm trying to parcel out like if Tolly would understand that like the Alcott boy being afraid and they're actually needing to be concerned as two separate,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like just because he doesn't want to make relationships with the people that his father had relationships with doesn't mean that those relationships are inherently dangerous.
Right, but you
Does
also
that make
don't
sense? But I
know.
don't know
Yeah,
any of that.
yeah, it's tough.
I don't think. Um,
Yeah, because Taratha swore on her literal life secrecy.
well, I don't. Hmm. Although I do think it's possible that at any given time Taratha could be in league with people who have are or will hurt other people. I haven't seen anything that makes me particularly concerned. And the Alcott boys, well,
I know he's stupid.
not entirely sure what he really understands about suffering and whether or not he means political hurt or actual hurt, and if he conflates those two things.
Hmm. I suppose that's right. I don't know. It it just seems that he's real serious about it, and I don't know. He might be planning something, and I don't know if Taratha should know. I don't know if he's right or wrong. I I I just don't know where I should stand on it, Tolly.
Well, I think you did the right thing by coming to me, and if you're all right with it, I'll just talk to Taratha about it. What was his reason for being around the shop?
Well, he he said he was looking for something of Taratha's that he couldn't find at his place. Thought maybe she left it.
Huh. Did he find whatever he was looking for?
I think so. It was real weird.
Huh. That's strange. Well, alright. As long as you're fine with it, I'll talk to Taratha about it. We'll see what she has to say.
I suppose. I trust you, Tali. You're good at keeping secrets. I'll leave it in your capable hands.
Alright. Well. Anything else? How's home? How's the shop faring and all that?
Well, I started getting some drops of the cafe, and it's gonna look real nice. Gonna put it in the corner by the window so people can watch people go by while they're sipping their tea or coffee and reading a nice book. And
That'll be just perfect.
mhm. And I've been learning real good. Quinn, we swap. So she'll work the bookstore and she'll learn how to write in common while I'm in her body learning how to be a good wizard. And what I've been doing is when I'm back home after hours at the bookstore, I'll be giving lessons, and I'm getting money for the lessons and putting a little bit away so that I can get that coffee shop going even sooner.
She does not laugh. That is entirely me. That is just the cutest thing ever. She's gonna be like, "Do you sleep?
Well, yeah, only when the sun goes down after a long time after the sun goes down.
Are you sleeping enough?"
Do I look tired, Tolly?
I don't know. I don't see your actual body.
I know.
I don't know how this swapping things works.
Well, it is kind of fun. I mean, if I'm staying up, then that kind of means that Quinn's got to stay up. So I mean, not that it always has to be that way, but a lot of times I learned that we tend to wake up and go to bed at the same time, even if we don't mean it. It's kind of a weird link thing. But I promise I'm getting enough sleep. I make sure I don't work on the seventh day so that I can get a nice good sleep in. And what I did is I made the hours a little bit less on the seventh day so I could sleep in.
So you do work on the seventh day.
Well, I have Quinn do that. She works. She don't know it's the seventh day. They have a different calendar.
You're eating enough?
Oh yeah, Quinn likes to cook. I don't, so she'll do the cooking and I do the eating. I promise I'm helping Quinn too. I leave her notes because she don't know how to read common real good. The people here, they only tell their stories by word of mouth. They don't got anything written down. So her job is gonna be making everything written down. So that's why it's good that I'm so good at reading, and I leave her notes and I help her. And so when we swap and I'm doing the learning or the resting, she'll be looking at the notes that I left her.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, you're still growing, you know.
Yeah, but I gotta
So,
grow the brain too, and the business.
the body is also important.
Well, yeah. Quinn cooks a mean egg. You should have some.
I might just.
All right. Well, I'll let her know, or you could let her know once I say bye. She'll be right there, and if you ask her to cook an egg, all she's gonna ask for is you to help her with something in return. That's how it works. They don't use money here. They just it's sort of like a barter, but no one really keeps numbers.
Now, see, Zola, the person who plays me, you know, from up on high, they're her computer. has dealt with the person who plays you and the making of deals before, and so my player isn't really down for that, you know. Like I don't know that whole deal thing is gonna be a thing that she's into. No, but seriously, well, I'll consider it then.
I mean, all you gotta do is like show her how to write better or something. It's not like you gotta sell your soul or kill your dog. Speaking of, how's Boomer? Where is he?
Oh, oh my God. Okay, hold on. Gotta do a deception check. Hey, she just got a dirty 20 with a +2 on that there die, so.
And Zola rolled a 3.
Yes! Good. Boomer is,
Had a nice farm upstate.
Boomer is staying with some other people while we're in the city. Um,
I suppose
yeah.
that's smart then. Well, I won't bother you no more, Tali. I mean, I will bother you some more. Let's be real, but I won't bother you anymore tonight. Thank you.
Yeah.
And you watch the posture change, and Quen looks at you, and she'll go, "So, is there anything else you need?"
Oh no. That's about it. Thank you.
Okay, I will be here in the morning, and I will take you and your friends to the elders for more discussion.
Great.
Have a good
Thanks.
night.
You too.
And she'll go. Taratha, what do you do when you turn in for that night?
Gonna pour a nice glass of oolong, crack open a book, and just lay back, relax.
Nice. What's your
Things are
passive?
falling. Passive is 17.
Okay.
Perception or insight?
Perception.
17.
Sounds good.
I want to do one thing before we start tomorrow, but just
Yeah.
it can be the last thing of the night.
Sure thing. So Taratha, as you're, going about your business, you put your teacup down and you turn to pour some more, and you notice a little scrying eye over your shoulder that had to have been sitting there for a short while, but couldn't have been there for very long.
Yes.
I mean, they can't talk back.
Oh, I know.
Uh-huh. And let's see, I don't think it could really move unless you move. So would you do your Taratha thing to talk at things that don't or can't talk back to you? Or do you wait for it to disappear?
I was just gonna add, like, if you have something you would like to say, I'm sure you can figure out a way if you can cast this kind of spell. If you're just trying to find me, congratulations, you found me. I'll be waiting here for you.
Nice. And it'll disappear.
Uh,
That's all.
Shortly after that, Taratha's gonna get a message, being like, "Hey, you awake?"
Sorry, I'm just loving the sort of timing of it. Like, oh, you know how to contact me, then you hear Tali's voice in your head.
Hey, you awake?
Yes.
Right. Do I know where she's at? Is she like near?
You're all in the same building. It's just
Cool.
you have different rooms. And out of curiosity, would you involve Willow on this or no?
Not just yet. She doesn't really. The Alcott stuff is Taratha's thing, so.
Sounds good.
And this seems more like a Taratha thing than the Alcott, like trying to do anything to Zola.
Mm-hmm.
So. Like if he had attacked Zola, then maybe she would be like, "Hey, Willow."
Yeah.
About that. Um, but yeah, she's gonna come over. And,
Tally,
we
what a
can play through
surprise.
it if you want, where I can just be like, I gave you this information. Um, well, Zola came to visit me tonight. Seems that your little boy Alcott snooping around looking for something at the shop he couldn't find. Something of yours specifically he couldn't find.
Interesting. Figures. It's not gonna find anything there, unfortunately. All I keep there really is my tea.
Well, Zola said he seemed to have found what he was looking for while he was there.
Good for him. Did she have anything else to say?
Not particularly. He said, you're messing with dangerous people. I mean,
We all are, aren't we?
that was my thought. But, just thought I'd let you know.
Seems each and every last one of us are dirtying our hands in one way, shape, or form.
Well, I do live in the desert.
Alistair's a good boy. He has the right intentions. If I were in his shoes, I'd probably do the same thing.
Alright. Sleep good.
Would you like some tea?
No, I think I'll pass tonight.
Well, it's always here, waiting and warm.
Yeah, until I will get up and go to bed.
Sounds good. And Willow, what did you want to do?
I'm sending to Zola.
All right. What do you say?
Hey, I'll be doing well. Long day over here. Almost died. Big dragon. But yeah, hope you're doing well.
You do not get a response. What you do get is a knock on the door.
I'm like lying down already. I'll be like, yeah.
Such a fucking Ashina answer, let's be real. The door opens, and you see Quen, like kind of poke her head through, and then she'll open the door a little bit more, and you'll hear, "So, you're not mad at me anymore?"
I was never really that mad at you. I don't know, I was mad at you. Never mind.
And she'll close the door and walk, and she'll kind of stand at the foot of the bed, but like shift her weight from one foot to the other, and she'll go, "Well, I guess I gotta thank you, though. If you didn't make me stay here, I wouldn't be as good as what I do now."
That sentence didn't make any sense, Solo. Why don't you rephrase it?
Well, if you just let me go back to the city, to Vara, I wouldn't have tried to connect with Quen, and if I didn't connect with Quen, then I wouldn't have learned so much about magic in such a short time, and then I wouldn't have been able to teach people stuff and to make money for the shop. I, if my calculations are correct, I'm able to finish that loan, that because I have to show a little bit more income in the store before we get a loan. So yeah,
For the pet and zoo?
no, for that's for some that's down the line. I'm talking
Oh.
for the cafe,
All right, all right.
because the because we ain't got a loan before, we need to show more revenue in the store. So what I've been doing is I've been teaching magic, and putting it in the store revenue so they won't know any better. And once I show a couple weeks of that, then we'll be able to get a loan to get the shop going.
You can get it right now. Just include my income from adventuring.
I suppose, but I've been trying to pretend as if I was running the shop on my own.
Is that a nice wish?
I'm
And
sorry.
she asks, is that a nice wish? But not with a sense of sarcasm
Hmm.
or anything like.
So, well,
Oh, that was a question. Sorry.
oh, sorry. Can you rephrase it? Cause I don't understand.
Like, is that a nice thought to own the bookshop on your own?
Well, I mean, I'm not looking to kick you out of owning the bookshop, Aunt Willa. I'm just saying that if I gotta prove to you that I'm good at what I do, I gotta make sure I'm able to do it on my own.
Oh, honey, I know that you're good at what you about what you don't do that I worry about.
What am I not doing at this point? Doing, and then she'll say it, but like look kind of apologetic. She goes like, "I'm doing things that you ain't doing, Aunt Willow."
I mean, we're always doing things that other people aren't doing. But um, no, what I mean is, you know, I worry about if you're maybe if you're if your priorities are aligned in the way that they should be for a 13-year-old. That's
Well, you gotta remember, I'm 14 now. And like above table, Willow definitely would not have forgotten that. But I'm gonna play it off as like you're still used to calling her 13 because her birthday was quite recent.
all right. All right.
And when you're that age, it is a very big difference between 13 and 14. Even though once
Sure,
you're
sure.
our age, you're like, all right, you're still a fucking kid. Well, what do you mean? I think I'm doing a good job for a 14-year-old.
You're doing a good job for a 14-year-old to act like a 25-year-old. I'll give you that. You're doing a good. You're doing good. Don't worry. I just want to make sure that you know that you're still young. You can still make mistakes, and that's okay.
Well, yeah, I know. I didn't take the book out that I wanted, and now I gotta wait a whole week because it's back ordered. Mistake of the century there.
Not that kind of mistake, but
Well, I don't think there's an age limit on mistakes, Aunt Willow.
no, I guess you're right.
You alright? You seem pretty down.
Mm, been better.
Well, I know that. Seen the way you look when the tea's just right. That ain't the look you got right now.
Yeah. Well, let me just say, and I truly mean this because I've been taking care of you for a very long time. Quinn seems nice. I'm glad that you have this relationship with them. But the rest of the clan here, they I don't think they really care about you or have your best interests in mind. I just want you to remember that, especially when push comes to shove.
Well, what makes you say that, Aunt Willow?
I just spent the day talking to their leader, and I didn't get the sense that they shared at least your mom and I's values.
Well, I mean, depending on the values, that ain't a bad thing. We got different what values. You and Tali's got different values.
Yeah, but their values are the kind that aren't really compatible.
Well, what do you mean by that?
Your mom and I, we left the Ashina clan because we wanted to strike out on our own and choose our own path. These people don't really, they're too consumed with fate to really think about that. And on top of that, the exact thing that Zinnia and I hated about living in the Ashina clan, which was the treatment of children and the way that they were raised. These people seem to take that even further in their militaristic undertones.
I ain't ever had to fight here. Had to fight a lot in the other clan.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I chose to raise you a certain way.
Well, I know. It's just confusing to me, Aunt Willa. I've been here, back and forth for about a month now, and it's just strange to me that I ain't seen that yet.
Well, when I was talking to them, that was about all they cared about.
About what?
Sending children off to fight their wars.
You mean me and Quen?
Yeah.
I mean it's just two of us, Aunt Willow. There's
That's
old people
too
fighting
many.
too.
I'm sorry, that's too many. And I know. I mean, it irks me, but you have no idea how angry your mom would be if she could see me right now.
Why?
She she hated she hated warring and fighting more than anyone I've ever met. And she absolutely did not think that that was the right way for children to be treated or looked upon.
But I don't feel like they're looking at me like that, Aunt Willow.
And I'm glad. And I think you're getting a lot out of this. I'm not saying to burn it all down, but I'm saying that I spent the day talking to somebody you may haven't talked to yet. And that was all that they cared about.
Well, I mean, all I'm saying is that, you know, I've been starting to dream less and less of the past and of the future. And I want to make sure that future happens, Aunt Willow. Because it's beautiful.
All right.
Um, Quen and I will be over for breakfast. She makes real good eggs.
Hmm.
And she'll walk over and give you a hug. And she'll go, and you stop frowning so much. You look older than you already do.
I feel older than I do.
Well,
Or have.
that means you gotta smile more, Aunt Willow.
I'll give her a smirk.
There we go. I'll see you in the morning. And she'll head out. You all have your long rest. is there anything you would want to go over in the morning, or are you all okay with skipping to meeting with the elders at around noon?
I'm fine with skipping.
T squared?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. So you were all directed to go back to the building that Tali and Taratha went to. Willow, you were at the one next to it, which was very similar. This one is just a little bit bigger. And you encounter the elders again. Just to give you a heads up, Rock and Gravel are somewhere in the city. They are being taken care of. You do not have to worry about them. But once again,
They're being chained up.
No. You are invited into the space. There's pillows on the floor for you all to sit down. There are three, because there's three of you. And the only, actually, you know what, Taratha, you have a good passive. Tali, what's your passive?
15.
Okay. This time, the two of you notice that there are 1, 2, 3 more people than there were last time. One of which is Anya. The other two you do not recognize. And as you all sit down, Goztash speaks. Willow, you would recognize her. All of you recognize her as the main one that spoke to you all yesterday. And Goztash will go, and I'm speaking faster this time because it was hell for me last week. I hope your stays were well. Are you happy with the accommodations that we have made?
They were adequate, yes.
I am pleased to hear. Tali and Willow, do you have similar feelings of the accommodations?
They're fine.
Yeah, can't complain.
Very
Just
well.
need a place to sleep. So why are people always? I mean, we were talking yesterday, and somebody was spying in on our conversation.
And she will look quite surprised, and she will go, do you mean there were people listening into your conversation?
No, it's some magic bullshit.
And
yes.
She'll look around to the people around you, and she'll go, I can assure you that there was no order to do so. We have no reason to spy on you.
Well, I mean, this is a good bit of information for you. That means someone who has been tracking us.
Beautiful.
Wait, is that if someone has been tracking us? That's the end, just to make sure. Or was there more, Corey?
Someone's been tracking us, and now they know where we are in this city.
Sorry, just the dog sounds are making me laugh. She does look very concerned at that. And her eyes kind of zero in on you, Taratha. And she will go, which people or organizations would have a vested interest in tracking you?
I mean, that's why I was hoping, that's why I was hoping you would you were the ones spying us. At least then you're a known quantity. I mean, I don't know who's watching. I mean, Willow wouldn't know like about the body part thing and stuff.
Right. How irresponsible to not know your own enemy.
Call it what you will. All I know is they must be following.
Can I make like an intelligence check? Because like what Eric's stupid, but maybe Willow's not. For like who would be scrying on her?
Yeah. Give me an intelligence check.
16.
it's very difficult. Like even I like would not know like who would want to spy on Willow specifically that would have the means to do so.
Wait, the team doesn't know who's scrying on me?
I know who's scrying, but I don't know an answer that would, kind of give you.
I know exactly how this spell works. I know exactly what it means. It was first cast on our dear friend here, so they must have something of value. Perhaps their leg. I can't really speak. The second time it was cast on a
Definitely the
location.
leg.
So it's somebody who has previously been in my room before.
So Willow, with that, it would be someone who has access to, like both you and Taratha, essentially, to get either something of your possession or some part of your body. And just before
Eric's just gonna say that you guys know that the boy was
yeah.
was hanging around the shop, but Willow doesn't actually know that he was hanging around the shop.
Yeah.
But Eric has got connected that dot and wants you to know that Eric connected that dot.
Yup.
So like, yeah, obviously Leia knows who the fuck and what the fuck is happening, but also Tali doesn't really do the whole scrying thing. Like that's not her jam. So I don't think she knows.
Mm-hmm.
She knows that the Alcott boy is fucking weird, but that's about it.
I mean, give me an intelligence check to see if Tali can put that together, because Taratha just sort of explained it, and you know that piece of information.
I mean, my intelligence is not hot. You want me to use wisdom on that? Sure, but that intelligence is 11.
I mean, it could be a possibility, but I don't
I mean,
think
my personal intelligence is a 9, and I figured this out. My human intelligence. Actually, let's be honest. I'm more of a 6. Anyways, let's continue.
What?
No.
You're you're literally
6
in
is
a
great.
PhD program.
6 is great. That's like a wolf.
You have it like in real life, Eric. You have at least a 16 intelligence.
No.
What the fuck?
Definitely.
What is happening in my life right now?
Anyways, we'll be done with that. That was just an aside.
We need to talk about that at some point.
Yeah, and the thing is, I feel like this is a very Sherlock Holmesy style of deduction, which would not really be wisdom. So I don't think that Tali, like, it's sort of something, like, something's not quite adding up. You know that there's something that you know, but you can't really quite put it together.
I mean, honestly, Tali doesn't actually care that much.
Yeah.
So there's also that.
And what's it called? The elder will look quite cross, and she will go, I will, for the protection of our people and you, permit you to have rings of protection to avoid this from happening again. However,
I mean, it's clearly someone within your ranks. It has to be. It's impossible otherwise.
she looks super offended at that. And she goes, 1, what would we earn from doing such a thing? And 2, we are not dishonest people.
I'm not charging you specifically or as a people. I am saying it's somebody that has knowledge of my exact location, right? So if I am not affected by the spell, but it appears in my location, in order for that spell to work, they must know the exact location. They must have been or seen it before. So, the process of elimination...
I don't think that is quite how it works.
Instead of targeting a creature, you can choose a location you have seen before as the target of the spell. When you do, the sensor appears at that location and doesn't move.
Yeah, but
why is Taratha assuming that she can't
location.
be targeted?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I didn't make a save.
You did.
When?
Today when I asked you to make me wisdom saving throws over text.
Oh.
As a player, I'm uncomfortable with that because you would have to do it because it's a casting time of 10 minutes and the spell lasts 10 minutes, so it would have happened at that moment. So I guess I'm just confused.
Right. The reason why I asked you to make the saving throws over text is just to see when it would happen. So I just wanted to be able to prep, and since I was asking a bunch of questions, I asked that anyway. So I, above table, thought that you would have, like, it was my fault for not making it clear. I just thought that because I had asked for the save beforehand, that you're like, oh yeah, this is the save, because essentially, like, over text, I was like, yep, one of those fails.
I mean, I guess if I knew a cast like I was being attempted to be scried upon, I would have like used a port and roll or used one of my. I would have done something.
But you
don't know.
Can you use a
or,
port and roll?
I don't think you could use a port and roll on a scrying, because I think that you have
can use
to
it on
see
a saving throw.
that on an effect that you can see.
But you can use it on a saving. Well, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know that's the saving throw you were making. Right? Like, you wouldn't know what you were making the saving throw for.
Yeah, or ability check by you or...
Wait, you have to do port before the roll.
No.
Yeah, that's what it says. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm just saying that we haven't been. Have we been doing that? I feel like it's been like, oh, it fails. Anyways,
no,
oh no, you're right. You're right. No, you do it before.
No, we have.
You're right.
Yeah, we
right.
have. So like,
I was thinking of what?
Yeah, I'm just saying.
It says you can replace any attack roll, saving throw, or ability check, but I would say that I would definitely do DM's discretion for doing port and on a scrying, because like you don't really know that you're making that saving throw.
Yeah, it's a weird scenario with that. So in the future, I will say that you can port a scrying, but for this one, we're just going to say that it happened because there's no consequence from this roll, if that makes sense, because the consequence, it's just as bad if Taratha got scryed on as if Willow did, and they really didn't get any information from it. Like any huge information besides like, yep, she's there.
Gotcha.
But yeah, no, I am sorry about that. In the future, I will do that. It's just in my head, I was just like, I thought that you have to see the effect to use portent, and because you couldn't see scrying, I'm like, oh yeah, there's no need to worry about portent.
That's why portent is OP.
Yeah, it says anyone made by you or a creature that you can see with one of these foretelling rolls. So you normally have to see the thing, but you, yeah, it's tricky. Like honestly, if I was DMing and I had a divination wizard, I would say that you can't use it on a port on that saving throw. But that doesn't matter. Let's just keep moving.
So Taratha would know that it's being put on creatures, not on places.
Gotcha.
So then would she continue to accuse them or no?
No, that would just retcon that.
Sure thing. We will give you rings to protect you from this effect in the future. However, in exchange, we do expect that you, 1, give it back, 2, keep it in good shape, and 3, do a little bit extra to help to make up for the resources that you are using.
I'll decline.
You can just keep the ring.
Oof. And so she will go, outsiders, we are putting a great deal of trust of our people, of which we have protected for many millennia.
And I understand that, but I'm not going to be put into a debt because someone was able to penetrate your centuries-old defenses.
They didn't penetrate our defenses, they penetrated yours.
Right, which would be penetrating your defenses.
Not if you use our rings.
And I'll happily use your ring, however, I am not going to be in debt for it. I will actively refuse.
Your debt is not big
Hold on.
to use it.
hold on. Let's just say it doesn't really matter because Taratha can just see them when they show up, so we know that they're looking. So it doesn't really matter. All right.
But what they learn from her surroundings might tell them more about us and our abilities.
Well,
we do not know who
Taratha,
this
you
is.
can just get rid of that little thing, right? Whenever it pops up.
No,
Yeah, you can dispel magic on it. You would know that.
I don't have dispel magic.
Okay. Well, I have a dispel magic sword.
Just get description and whack it.
Yeah.
She will respond, "It is not a great debt that we ask. We just ask that you train the young ones for a week or so, or you fetch the water, or you do some other sort of thing to help us be able to continue our daily life."
I'm not going to be in debt for this ring.
Well, that seems quite silly. It is a small ask to have you contribute for a few days. And in exchange, you have the protection for as long as you are here.
I mean, aren't we already doing a service by going and convincing the Dareth to join you? I assume I'm leaving soon anyways, so, if they spy on me out there, it doesn't really matter. Sorry, did I say something wrong?
No. I thought that Corey was going to respond.
Oh, I was waiting for Eric.
Oh, I finished what I was my point. My point was that we're going to be leaving and going and doing a job. So,
It is not a concern of me. If someone is scrying on me, they can come to me, they can figure it out, and I will deal with them as I deal with them. This is your problem, and it sounds like you have a way to remedy that problem, but I'm not going to be put in debt for what is ostensibly an issue for you. I will happily wear that ring while I'm here, and I too am intrigued about who is spying on me, and so if I find out, I will relay that information to you so you can handle it in the way in which your clan handles it. But I'm not going to be in debt for this ring.
Well, you will not be allowed to navigate the city without something protecting you. We will not give something freely. So if you wish to continue, then you will have to purchase it, or purchase it elsewhere, because our form of currency is ability.
And I believe we're already performing an immense task for you.
In exchange, you are getting a great wealth of information.
I'm not getting anything.
Well, they did. Here's the thing: you were so stubborn with them. They didn't even fuck it. I'm not talking that over with her. But there is something above table. There is something for Willow. They just did not offer it right now.
Or maybe
so, Tali's like information we will conveniently forget when we leave here. All of the information that you've told us about the calamity and the coming time, we already knew. So, ostensibly, although we are here for our own purposes and because we've been asked by someone else to come here, meaning we do get our own reward for doing something that also helps you.
I mean, they also are giving you a free 6th or 7th level spell that you cast without using a spell slot.
What?
I mean, sure, but in exchange for helping them get enough outsiders to do the thing that they need to do because they can't by themselves get their own insiders to get it done. Like,
Willow is just
Yeah.
going to say, "Give me the damn ring. I'll kill whatever you want me to kill, or get your fucking water." You're right. You got me. I fold. You beat me. All right. And I'll walk up and I'll take whatever ring, or if they don't have it or whatever. I'm like, she's out. She's just like, this is like, I don't like. She cares so little about this, but she would prefer, like Taratha, not to have like a dumb debt that she has to somehow repay. But
So
she
just
like,
to confirm,
if it's a
Willow
sticking
will,
point for them, then fine. She doesn't care. She'll do whatever they want.
so Willow will take over both hers and Taratha's debt to have 2 rings, or
Yeah.
just okay.
Sure. I'll
Sounds
take over
good.
all 3.
oh, I don't need one. So they didn't
Yeah.
offer Tolly one. That's why she hasn't fucking said anything.
Yeah.
She's
But-
just like, cool.
No,
Well-
do not take on my debt. No one will be taking on my debt. I just will not be wearing a ring. If that means I am quarantined in my quarters or banished from the city or whatever the punishment is, I really don't care. The system that you've established is really, frankly, backwards. And really, it just exposes
Tolly didn't laugh. That was me.
the
Taratha,
antiquity of your, I don't know, traditions.
Taratha, you've traveled with me long enough to know that I don't keep debts. You won't be indebted to me or anything like that. All right?
No. I'm not saying I will ever be indebted to you. I do not want anyone taking on my debts. I do not want to fancy this little system that they've put in place.
Now, just above table,
I have passed.
I just wanted to make sure that I, the DM, explained clearly. They have no currency. It's purely, if I do something for you, you do something for me, and it's a sort of fair exchange. And
Yeah.
Yep.
And I
Yes, that all makes sense. It's just this isn't like I think that for Taratha
Mhm.
This
and
is
Tolly,
their
even though she's not getting one, that's not a like they're asking us to wear something for them and then also be indebted to them for wearing that thing for their protection, not for ours. Like this is their
Yeah.
problem and that they want to fix, and then they're asking us to do something for them when we're already here to help them with a problem. Like,
That sounds like some anti-mask rhetoric to me. I'm kidding.
No, exactly. That's exactly the argument Tareth was making.
but see,
I'm doing you the favor
like,
by wearing.
when I
yeah.
walk in, no. When I walk into Costco and they hand me a mask, what they're asking me to do is wear the mask, not also stock their shelves for the pleasure of wearing it. Okay?
No,
like,
I know.
that-
I'm saying I understand it's a different scenario. It's just really funny to me that there's some similarity.
no, there's not.
There
Like,
is
if
some.
I
There's
were,
not.
like, if I had to, like, if this was permanently my ring, like, I could wear it outside this, but I have to give it back. That's just drawing the line.
Right, like as long as we're here, we can have it for their protection, and it's fine. Like she would wear, like even if
Mhm.
Tolly was being asked to wear a ring, she would be being at like she would wear the ring, but she is
Uh-huh.
not going to be in debt to them for taking the ring.
If Taratha brings up ownership, they go, well, if you would like to work longer, you could work longer to keep the ring.
I don't really want the ring. That I'm just explaining how really this is. I find this unbelievable.
Friend
Frankly.
Taratha, you bring danger into our home and refuse to prevent that danger.
No, I will actively prevent it for you. I will gladly wear this ring, but I am not going to assume a debt for it. I will make sure it is safe. I will make sure it's properly used, etc., etc., and I will return it when I leave this city, alongside all the other things that will happen when I leave this city. But I will not take on a debt for this ring or let anyone else take on a debt in my stead.
If that is the case, Taratha, we cannot allow you in the city.
Okay. Well, it was a pleasure, and then I'll see myself out.
Friend Taratha, we do have to, if this is the case, we do have to clear your memory of this place. We will not alter anything else, as promised. But before you leave, we would have to do that.
And what exactly will you be clearing?
Can I just please just bring 2 pails of water back from the river so that you can wear this damn ring?
No, because this is laying the groundwork for the rest of our arrangement, and I'm not going to be assuming debt in this manner. Just not going to happen. I will wear the ring and gladly do so.
Let me ask y'all a question. I mean, the way this ring works, would it protect people who are like around me? Maybe I just, leash me up, handcuff me to Taritha, right? Would that work?
I think so long as you stay within like 30 feet of Taritha at all times.
Would that be amiable, Taritha?
I'm sure. I mean, you have to ask them.
Well, I need to know if you're going to accept me having to be within 30 feet of you while wearing the ring, or if you're
sure
going to.
That's going to be very, very fun for you.
I'm sure it will be very fun for both of us. But Eric is asking if Taritha would accept that deal, or if it still goes against like the spirit that she's been.
I mean, Taritha will in no way, shape, or form attempt to stay within 30 feet. Like, if it happens, it happens, but she's not gonna drawing distance and all that. She's not gonna do that.
Just so you know, you are definitely getting like child leashed, like until they figure out a spell that can make it happen.
Who wears the?
Or you could just have me wear the ring. I'll wear the ring. You can just give me the ring, and I'll return it to you. This is an arrangement that doesn't have to be complicated. It's complicated out of this silly, I can only imagine, archaic tradition. And I'm feeling this is somehow in violating guest right. I have a strong feeling that, like, if I had to enter someone's home and wear something and then be in debt for it, that's a violation of guest right.
Guest right is different in different places. Typically, guest right means don't harm the guest. It doesn't mean you have to take care of them.
I feel like putting someone in debt for coming in. Yeah, no.
I mean, they're not putting you in debt for coming in. They're putting you in debt for being scried on and needing a piece of material in order to do it. And their currency is like pretty much like there's a sort of not official ledger, but if they are giving something to you, they are expecting something in return. Like, you could give them something in return that like is short-lived as well.
And give you a nice talking to.
I hate you. They will not accept that one.
What you're getting out of this is the city won't be scried on. You patch up your defense network. That's your reward. That's what you get out of this.
And we can get the same by not allowing an outsider to hurt us, to walk within our cities with little regard for their own personal responsibility.
Oh, why do you think I carry this necklace around me? So I make sure that when someone is spying on me, I know that I'm being spied upon, so that I can make sure that anything that they see can be stopped to a certain degree, or what they might hear.
That is a reactive measure.
Precaution.
That is a reactive precaution, not a preventative precaution.
Then just give me the damn ring and we can be on our merry way.
Not for free.
I mean, you can pay me to wear it, I guess. That would be nice.
And she will think for a while. And I was trying to think of something like a reverse psychology thing, but I know that I can't do that. I am not clever enough to And she'll just shake her head and she'll go, "This is a non-starter, friend Taratha. I do lament that it seems like we cannot come to an agreement on this."
And it's quite unfortunate. I've enjoyed my time and your hospitality, but I'm not going to be put in debt over this.
So we do child lease strategy.
Yep, if you want to do child leash strategy, they would be happy for that. So,
I mean, as long as I'm holding the leash.
I mean, what they're essentially doing is they're going to tie a rope to both of your waists, make you, and then 30 feet in between, they give Willow a ring, and essentially Willow just has to, every morning for the next week, just pull water from the well and bring it somewhere. Like it's nothing big. It's just
that's hilarious because then Willow has to come with while I do the job.
Which is the extra
Taratha
funny.
is not wearing that rope.
All right, well then I guess that is a bunk idea. So yeah. You're getting kicked out, I guess.
Woo!
All right. So they will handle.
I thought I had a bad relationship with them.
Yeah. Above table. How should we?
On the turntable.
What? Oh, how the turntable. Above table, how do we want to go about this? Because I don't want to split the party. I don't want to put anyone in a, sort of position where they have to change their character's values or whatsoever. I'm totally okay with you just walking away from this arc as much as I wanted Pacific Rim.
Wait, would Zola not be involved with this arc?
Oh no, she absolutely would be.
Damn it. Okay, well I can't leave. I'm bound to it. I mean, not that if we want to do it off screen, we can.
As much as I would want, as a player, I totally understand what's going on.
I mean, here's the other thing. You haven't dealt with your dad yet, so.
Very true.
Wait, what? Taratha's dad?
Oh yeah, because he.
Do all your characters have daddy things going on? Sorry, I'm just joking.
Because here's the thing, and here's the question, Corey. Because Mephistopheles would definitely be pissed if you walked away. Would it feel like railroading you if I kind of had him flex for that?
I mean, if you want him to flex, that's always great to see. I mean, this is like. This is one of those scenarios where like it's just like true petty Taratha where she can't move on this. It's like such a slight and such nonsense to her that it just sours the entire relationship for her.
Sounds good. So because I had something planned if like anything like this were to happen. I just wanted to make sure that you, Corey, just didn't feel like I was like, nope, Taratha's not allowed to do stuff. Because
no. I totally get that. It's just I'm sure that they feel exactly the same way about like this completely just undermines the relationship.
Sorry, Leia, you were gonna say something.
Hold on. So there is a reason that Tali there's a reason that Saturn chose Tali, and it's in part because Tali has her own underlying tricksy that occasionally comes out in scenarios like this. So like just under her breath, she's like just I don't even know if she actually says it out loud. She's just like internally it's like, hey Mess, feel like giving your daughter a ring she can't take off and also has a debt sometime down the road that she doesn't know about.
Christ.
Because it would be funny.
I think here's something that would how about this? Because I was gonna do something different.
That's fine.
Because Tally is a trickster and you are now sort of in line with Mephistopheles, Taratha, something strange happens as you get up to like sort of leave or go to the little memory chamber or whatever. From one of the boxes in storage that is sort of like pressed up against the wall, you see it open and a ring comes out and zips right past everyone and goes right onto your finger. What do you do?
I just look up at them. Well, it looks like there's multiple forces that are spying in here.
There's a bit of a commotion as like just shit happened, and then and none of them rolled well on their Arcana checks, and Goztash, the one who's been talking, points to you, and she goes, "We know you do magic. You summoned it from our possession, and now you play tricks."
Oh no, that's not what happened. Tali like speaks up. Oh no. That
illusions, Michael.
Christ.
See, when you allowed us into your city, you also opened the gates to, well, the power behind us.
Okay, so this arc's over. Okay, so like we're done. I'll see you guys next week.
Who desperately, I don't know, desperate might be the wrong word. I think he would not approve of that particular word choice. Who needs us for one reason or another to stay and do this. Pretty sure that wasn't Taratha.
And they will look over to give me a persuasion check.
Okay. Fucking nat 20, bitches.
Man, that's beautiful.
That persuasion altogether is 27.
Amazing. You single-handedly convinced them that, because they have no trust. I mean, they do have a certain amount of trust in Taratha. I'm not going to say they have no trust because she's been very forthright and painfully so. And Goztash will look at Taratha and go, "Remove the ring."
No.
And then, sorry.
I mean, really, do you want to anger the 8th layer of hell?
That nat 20 just suddenly is the numbers lowering and lowering.
I was just like, ugh. Goztash will go,
If anyone is angering the 8th layer of hell, it's you, Taratha.
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
That's what Tali says out loud.
And Taratha says 100%.
It appears to me that you need to get in line, as they say. I am very bad with commonisms, but I guess what I am trying to say is that your bad attitude ascends planes, and that's not good.
It just speaks to the power of my temperament.
And the scene changes around you. Tali, you've seen this, and Taratha, you've seen this before. Willow, this is the first time. As the scene goes from a comfortably lit, very bare bones room to an ice like Antarctic style. You are on a glacier. There is nothing like warm or welcoming around you. There are icebergs in the distance, and vaguely you could hear like screams of anguish, like far, far off in the distance. And looming in front of you is, like a 5, 6 story tall, shadowy figure.
I shoot it.
You do. That's totally fine, and it goes right through them, and you hear an amused laugh, and soon, this is kind of booming and echoing. I am not here to hurt you.
I'm gonna shoot it again.
Willow, stop wasting bullets. It's bad for you.
I'm just imagining Willow shooting, like, actually inside of the room, and she's just spraying praying like the Ashina right now.
I'm shooting up. I'm shooting up 5 stories, so hopefully no Ashina are in the ceiling. If that's the case, they're probably the ones spying on us.
Yeah, no, don't worry. It's I'm like, all of this is sort of happening in your heads right now, so no need to worry about stray bullets.
Okay.
And you all here. I brought you all here so you all know how much of a disappointment Taratha is to me.
Oh, Tali does not laugh, but it's only because she holds it
Willow
in.
laughs.
She holds it in and gives Taratha or gives Willow the knowing feels.
I don't even know who you are, but I guess we have that in common.
And he will respond, I am the archdevil Mephistopheles.
I shoot him again.
Your bullets do nothing to me.
Stop, Willow, stop. You're wasting bullets. It's bad.
One more, and it will be destroyed.
The bullet?
Yeah, don't lose your gun. It's bad for you. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't
do it.
Don't do it. How are we standing in front of an archdevil right now and there's still an angel and a devil on your shoulder, Willow? I don't understand.
Willow, do it.
Incredible.
Don't do it, Willow.
I will sit down and close my eyes and attempt to enter a memory.
Okay.
I don't want to. I'm trying to escape the situation with my mind powers.
Gotcha. Give me a Constitution saving throw.
Wait, I'm not proficient in those? Oh, I am. Yeah. All right. Fuck. 12.
Oof. As soon as you attempt
my +8 never matters whether I roll a 19 or a 4.
Hey! You have made many a will save, my friend.
All right. Anyways, continue.
You don't take any damage, but it hurts. Like, it's like just getting zapped in your brain when you attempt to leave this space. And Mephistopheles goes, I'm not done talking. You listen.
I'm gonna try again.
Just kill me now.
I mean, you brought me here. Taratha doesn't want to deal with any of this God stuff, she's avoided it her whole life. She's gonna keep avoiding it today.
Another con save.
To her, this is maybe an illusion of some kind or something, and she's trying to, all right, con save. That's better, 26.
Just barely. You enter a dream state. And the archdevil turns to Taratha and goes, I am not surprised that you are so stubborn and insolent
and
when
why are you
you
disappointed?
Keep company like her. And sorry, what was the question? I didn't hear.
I said, he said, I'm not surprised, and immediately said, then why are you disappointed?
And
Oh, he said, "I'm not surprised that you keep company with me." That's what she was. Sorry,
and he will respond, "I can be disappointed whether I expected it or not."
Well, that sounds like a you problem then.
Such a loud mouth for a little nothing.
Apparently, though,
when did we switch places?
Yeah.
Tommy's having like an existential crisis and says that out loud without really thinking. Like,
well, apparently I'm important enough for you to intervene, so you can belittle me and call me a nothing, but I must be something if you had to interfere in my petty little squabbles.
no. I mean, I have an actual question though, just for like reference. Did you come because I thought it would be funny and asked you to? Or are you doing this because you think Taratha is an insolent child?
You get another laugh. And he will go, "I admit I was coming to discipline her. You helped me make the decision faster." The ring on her finger was to entertain you.
Cool.
Taratha,
Yes, what curse has befallen me?
do you remember your dream?
Which one?
The one
I have many.
when you were dead and you watched your sisters get flayed and their limbs ripped from their bodies, their skin scratched from their muscle.
Yes. Vividly. Yes.
That's where my daughters go who disappoint me.
Well, clearly I haven't passed the threshold yet now, have I?
You are close to it. I have 4 more of you.
Prove it.
Taratha, don't fucking die, please.
Are you asking the proof in him just letting you get flayed, like for eternity, or proof that there are more? And sorry, he would have, let's say 3.
Other daughters.
4, 5. So sorry, 5 more. Give me a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah, I'm good at those.
Taratha, don't die. You know how hard it is for me to make friends? Like, just don't. Jesus.
22.
Okay. You do not take any damage from this, but it is, like, head splitting. It is just an incredible amount of pain, very similar to the night that you spent just locked in your own body. As you are shown, like, in just, like, rapid fire glimpses and images, other tieflings that look similar to you, walking the earth. Some places you recognize, some things you don't. None of which seem to be have crossed paths with you, but seem to have like existed in the same spaces that you have. You also what's confusing at first, and maybe you'll put it together once you're not quite like once this subsides and the pain goes away, you're able to put it together. But you see more than 5, but there's something familiar about each of them, and what you're being shown above table is the multiple lifespans that each of you have lived. So you see like what you look like in your past lives as well, even though you have no recollection of anything you learned from those past lives. And you see one by one the first 3 kind of get told off the first time, the second time, and on the third time, that's when he captures them and starts his torture for eternity. And he's down 3. And once you kind of get like that kind of looming your next sort of death screen going, and then he releases your mind.
It's funny that you show me this. My entire life I've been hunted and tortured. You can see it on my body. What is an eternity? Really? What do you have me do? What will you have me do? What do you want from me? I have lived longer than most, and I've lived in relative obscurity. I have no idea what you want from me, what you wish from me, but yet I disappoint you. Tell me, what will you have me do? And I will do it. But until then, don't pretend and don't play these games. If you'd wanted me to take that ring and assume that debt, then tell me. Don't bring me here and discipline me. Give me my mission. Tell me what you want me to do.
And he chuckles, and he'll go, everything in your power to operate those Warforged.
In service of what?
Me.
I can do that. What do you want with them?
I want you.
Do you want them? Do you want them to serve some goal?
I want you to destroy the angels of Gond and to allow the Ashina to ascend and cause a third calamity. And from there, who knows? We'll see. I'm not a very hands-on child rearer, as you see. But I will let you know.
This is pretty hands-on.
I mean, this is also after centuries of hands-off.
Yeah, go ahead.
Consider it done. The Ashina will ascend. The angels of Gond will be destroyed. What about Gond himself? What do you want with him? Or is he going to be locked away after this next calamity?
Oh, no. Unfortunately, we need to open all of the pressure points before we will have access to, well, giving Gond what he deserves.
Okay. I want to be there for that.
Well, be less of a disappointment and learn to read between the lines rather than demanding me to explain it so explicitly.
It's been centuries. This is the first time we've talked. Don't give me that nonsense.
Earn it next time. And then he will snap his fingers and the room changes. And you could say what you want, but he definitely snuck in that last word on you.
That's where I learned that trick from.
But yeah, you are back with the Ashina. It seems that no time has passed. They were not privy to what just happened.
Am I sitting or am I standing?
You are sitting.
Oh, I was already sitting on a pillow. That's right.
Yeah. And you, Willow, you are still in dream state.
I guess someone will have to wake me up.
Yep.
I want to turn to, what is it, Gashtog?
Goztash.
Goztash.
Sorry, it was just funny to me.
I have the ring. Your place will be protected. I don't know why you're so keen on protecting this place, though. You will ascend. This world, everything you built here, it means nothing.
It is everything to us.
But it soon won't be, and you know that.
Correct.
Now let's start working on this job and not focusing on menial tasks. Get your head straight.
I didn't bring the Archdevil for you to get what you want, Corey. If Taratha continues to refuse to do, and here's the thing, they're just asking, they would allow Taratha to work within her skill set, so she does not have to do menial tasks. She would just have to spend some time either transcribing spells to show, because they don't have any sort of written library, so it could be something like that. But if Taratha continues to refuse to do stuff, she will start taking some sweet, sweet psychic damage from her dad.
I mean, can't. Sometimes you gotta play with them. Sometimes you can't play with a handicap.
And Goztash will go, either give back the ring, or do work in exchange for it.
I am doing work. I am making sure that you ascend. That is my only task. It is an insurmountable task, but I'm here to make sure it goes through. This is your people's destiny, is it not? Is this not your singular goal? Let me be in service to that. Don't distract me from...
It is not our singular goal. It is the easiest way to achieve our goal. You helping us ascend was part of the old deal. I am not going to give you more for the same terms on your end.
You've given me nothing. Apparently. And I flashed the ring. The ring just spoke to me.
The ring speaks not.
Mephistopheles is really upset.
Ooh, one more time?
Said Mephistopheles is going to be really upset.
Yep. Yeah, Taratha, make me a Constitution saving throw.
Can do. Ooh, nice. That'll be a 23.
You will take 44 points of psychic damage.
Woof.
As you refuse. And this psychic damage, it has kind of like a cold sort of aura to it, so you know it's not coming from the Ashina.
Mm-hmm. Can they see it?
They see you. They'll see you if you make a response to it. It's all psychic, so they don't see an attack.
I mean, having a migraine, it's hard to hide, right? And this is what's worse, so...
You can make some kind of composure check.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a second con check. Oh, that's 19. I feel like you can see her her eye twitch.
Yeah, but you don't make any sound. You just kind of tense up a little. And let me just see. They do. One of them does give you a sort of concerned look, and they go, "Are you being scryed on even with the ring?"
In a way, yes. In a way, yes, I am.
Explain.
You didn't hear my whole speech about the 8th layer of hell? Did you miss that part? You didn't hear my friend here talk about when you bring us in, you've opened the gates of hell into your city?
Ah, so it appears that you are being harmed by him?
Yeah, existence is pain.
Why?
Why is existence pain?
No, why is he harming you?
I'm being an insolent crybaby.
There's a bit of a rumble of chuckling. And Goztash will go. Then I assume you will do as told in exchange for the ring?
That, or you could just bypass all this silly nonsense and let us get on with all this.
Con save.
Let's go. Ooh, rolled a 19 plus 8. That's 27.
You take 25 points of
Nice.
psychic damage.
Still up.
If you were me, you'd be resistant.
Yeah.
Mind blank. Someone mind blank this girl.
And Tali, you hear in your head from you imagine it's an angel of Mephistopheles. Oh man. So
So she immediately says, "I don't talk to messengers."
that's fine. Messengers can talk to you. From what I hear, that happens a lot. That's fine. I get it. You don't talk to messengers. But I'm still going to stay here. And I'm going to see how many times it's going to take for her to stay down. Probably a long time, isn't it? And I imagine that Taratha is going to continue to not do anything for the ring.
I'm waiting until I can make a persuasion check.
I mean, this
Trying
is
to find
this
the right magic
like,
combination of words.
Yeah, I mean, just above table, this is like a non-starter. They are very obstinate people about certain things. There are things that you could definitely do a persuasion check on. This is not one of them.
God damn it.
Like, because you've definitely persuaded them already. Like, they were, you know, it would have taken, like, you did persuasion checks or for, and other, like, charisma-based checks for getting outsiders to operate the Warforged. So there's definitely things that they are willing to bend on.
So is that angel here? Are they like?
They're
Are
just,
they?
you could tell, like, they're just kind of looking through your eyes right now.
So they're on a different plane already.
I mean, they're not physically here. They're just making a little connection. So.
Yeah. Okay. So
More
how do I
telepathic.
make that not a thing? Like, what spells work
Non-detection.
to make that? What?
Non-detection.
Is that a spell, or are you trying to give me a different?
No, the non-detection is a spell.
Oh, okay.
Or,
Incidentally,
ironically,
divination spell. Oh, and clerics can't learn it.
No, I can't.
What about fighters?
Nope.
ironically,
Bard, ranger, and wizard.
ironically, Tali, what they are trying to get on Taratha's hands is a ring of non-detection. So the ring that Taratha has, I mean, I'm gonna say it's gonna stop angels from being able to do that to you. Like, it's not going to stop gods.
I mean, yeah, of course. She
Yeah.
just doesn't talk to messengers.
Yeah.
And every time Mephistopheles sends a messenger,
Yep. So
he will lose more and more of her cooperation, which he probably knows. She doesn't have time for that.
Well, here's the other thing. Mephistopheles is dealing with Taratha right now, so you're not sure whether or not, like, Meph sent someone, or, like, the devils are like, oh man, look at this show.
Yeah, but this angel is just here, or, like, his messenger is just here for funsies to talk to her, and she doesn't have no time for that.
Oh yeah, that's totally fine. But if you don't want that, then you would need a ring of non-detection. So what does Taratha do?
Taratha's not happy. Not in the slightest. Fine, what will you have me do?
And Goztash will go. Everything you know that you are willing to share, we would appreciate you writing it down for 2 hours a day for the next week.
Okay. You said that just so you said the contingency here is that I'm willing to share, correct?
Information
Those
that
were
is
your words.
valuable and that you are willing to share. Information about your magic. Information about the outside world. Information about history. Information that will warrant a very powerful magic item. So you get the hint that, like, if you just write down nonsense, they are going to essentially make you redo it. But if you give them honest information that is written down for 2 hours a day, or what you can do...
That's like a lot of information. And
Well,
way more than carrying a couple buckets of water.
Well, it's
for
not
a
it's
week.
not a couple of buckets of water. Like, you are like hauling up from the well and walking it across town, and like...
I understand that, but that's
Yeah.
still like significantly more valuable. Like by like a lot.
I mean, she could do that if she wants, but I don't see Taratha doing manual labor. So if Taratha wants to run the bucket up, she could run the bucket up. But the important thing for the Ashina here is that they have people give based on their strengths, not based on some sort of like arbitrary thing. Like, oh, you have to run a mile because only running a mile will prove that you are an able person. Like, that's not how they run. So she can, alternatively, she could sit down and just transcribe based on, like, what they... So they could be talking about their history and she just writes down what they say. Like, that's another thing that she could do.
That would make more sense in this context, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I will write down important information that I am willing to share.
And just above table, if it is just utter nonsense that you share, there will be repercussions.
Well, yeah, because then it'd be violating one of the two tenets. That would be non-important information.
Okay. Just the fact of how you're repeating it is making me, Kelly, nervous. So I'm just like,
Oh, because if I'm not willing to share any information, then I wouldn't share it.
And if you sit there doing nothing for 2 hours, and not sharing any information, then you would just be told to do something else, because you are meant to be giving something, not just sitting there being whiny Taratha.
Oh, no. I would be sharing all important information that I, Taratha, would be willing to share at that time, which happens to be nothing. Nothing is something.
Keep going, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Okay, then that's not the terms that they would do then, because they would catch Taratha's drift and know that she's being, prissy about it, so then they would say that you have to transcribe the oral history that is dictated to you for 2 hours a day for the next week.
I can sleep during that, just have my mage hand do it, I guess.
They don't care. But I think you have to be somewhat conscious for mage hand, but you could be like sitting there having tea and having the mage hand do the work. Would she agree to that?
Sure.
Alright. So, Goztash will sit back and motion for the other ring to come forth, because I assume that Willow is already ready to, run water. So she will have that. And then Goztash will go, so you said you knew people. Do you intend to write, or would you feel better bringing them here yourself? Or telling them yourself, sorry.
I mean, you really want a letter going out into the world containing the information of the city? That seems to violate your little security measures, eh?
We have ways. The question is, would you like to stay here, or are you willing to travel?
I mean, my people can escort anyone you would like, anyone who can't transverse the desert alone. But I'll just send them a message, or a couple.
Fair. And you, Taratha?
I'll go get them.
Okay. We do have a teleportation circle not far from here. From what I understand, there must be some sort of circle you know by you. You may not teleport the others here, but you may teleport there, discuss with them, and you may teleport back. Part of them proving their worth is to be able to traverse the desert and withstand our trials, both of which you have already done.
I'm back, by the way.
Yep.
Okay.
If you can give Kuen a list of the people you intend to ferry over, we would be on the lookout, as it were, for when they show up, and we will give them a fair shake and know that we must be patient with them, as they are asked here, not that they are seeking to come here for their own means. And after that, I will teleport you there. Willow, I think it would be best for you to go as well. When we teleport Taratha to where she must go, you should go to the... And she starts to say Daroth, but then she'll go, other Ashina, speak with them, and then you come back here via teleportation with Taratha. And Tali, you could choose to go with them, or you could choose to stay here. It does not matter to me which one happens. But Taratha and Willow have to teleport out together. They have to convince their respective people, and then you will have, if you don't have teleportation as it is, they will give you a scroll of teleportation to have you two come back only. They would allow specific, like, you know, like, if you could teleport up to 7 creatures, you can teleport extra Ashina back here, but you cannot transport non-Ashina back to this city. Does that make sense above table?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, Tolly will go with them. If both Willow and Taratha are leaving, Tolly's not gonna stay here on her own. She trusts these people about as far as she can throw them, so.
Okay. So then the 3 of you will be teleported. So just kind of to give you a timeline, they would expect you to spend some time discussing with everyone and convincing. And then in the time between the people, like you convincing them and them coming here, you are meant to spend in the city of Ashina training to become drift compatible.
Yeah, for sure. That makes sense.
Yep. And any questions before we end the session today?
No.
All right. GG, everyone.
Can't transcribe when I'm out on a mission.
That's true, but you'll have to do it at some point.
You say that.
I'm not letting you Franz your way out of it, or Taratha your way out of it.
Oh,
I mean,
Franzing,
let's be real. It's Corey his way out of it.
That's true. That is true. That is true. I guess something that would be sort of like fun to discuss is, or not fun, but just like, you know, I feel like is good discussion, is sort of like divine intervention and like DM intervention. Because like it doesn't feel good to me to like essentially go like, yep, you have absolutely no chance of convincing them, and your, you know, dad slash, you know, god dad is gonna force you to do this as well. Like it doesn't feel good as a DM. I think it's in part like like on the DM to be able to find ways to do it without having to say nope, I say so. So I'm not sure how you have encountered situations like this and sort of mitigated those situations.
Like as DMs?
Yeah.
Um, I mean, I usually try to give multiple routes to accomplish the same task.
Mm-hmm. Or yeah, I guess
Um,
it was just a weird thing because it was like not meant to be like I didn't think that this would be an issue in all honesty. Um so there was that. I'm not quite sure how what other things there are to stop scrying besides buying a ring or having a ring.
I mean, we could have just walked away, you know,
Yeah.
from the thing, or Taratha could have walked away and be like, well, if you don't want to house me and I won't take the ring, then that's that. Um, and so maybe this was a situation where that was maybe the solution. Sometimes with players, that has to be the solution. You know, okay, like you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think we're kind of in a little bit of like a tricky spot as a party because I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, that any of us are like super passionate about like what am I trying to say? Like, you know, like we all came here for different reasons than the reason that we're here now. Am I not wrong? So it's like we're almost like that can be a little bit jarring, perhaps. I'm trying to think about it that
Mm-hmm.
way, but I think uh, as a DM, like um, it's always like kind of tricky when you know when your players are being stubborn, and I'm a stubborn player, so I'm sorry. Um, so sometimes I'm not. I tried to like not be too stubborn today. Like I like Willow doesn't like this arrangement, but I was like, well, I was gonna be more of a yes player, so I'm gonna say that they won the battle of the wills this time. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Of course. So I think sometimes it can be good to try to. I like to just avoid them. I think that's my biggest thing. Like maybe
Mm-hmm.
have the NPCs renege. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. Sometimes if the players are being really obstinate about it, but sometimes you have to put your foot down.
DM Corey.
Uh, I think I'm with Leia on this, just like offering different routes or different ways to approach a situation. Um, I find like you can construct a situation to have different routes that all ultimately get to the same place. Some people call that an illusion of choice. I don't really.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think it's when a player kind of has to make a certain choice or go down a certain route is when I kind of things kind of feel kind of frustrating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I, as a DM, try to avoid that, um, or at least try to. If there's like there's kind of what I call a hard choice. Like this choice will have, drastic consequences to make sure that there's the multiplicity of there's not only just a yes or a no or two different choices, but multiplicity of choices that all have a variety of effects and different outcomes.
True.
Like I guess I would note that like I agree with kind of what definitely with what Corey was saying. Like in our campaign, like I think if I gave Anushka your your character uh that same ultimatum, I
Mm-hmm.
think it probably would have been just as ugly.
Oh yeah.
um, and so sometimes it's because when we're playing D&D, right, we're kind of playing, you know, for better or for worse, we to some degree have like an idea of us as the main character, right? And
Mm-hmm.
main characters tend to be, mm, you know, they tend to stick to their own path, right, or something along that line, and maybe that can help create that friction.
Mm. I mean, with Anushka, genuinely, she would not be working on this mission right now. Like, it's solely for the sake of like not creating friction that she is working with the council right now. Um, but that's neither here nor there. I think what just kind of shook me on this was like it wasn't meant to be a big thing. It was just meant to sort of like show that the like cuz I feel
I
like
mean,
I talked them up for being like this very sort of like uh like feet dig into sand, unwilling to do anything, but they were fairly like I would say liberal-ish in a way with their like kind of treatment of Tali and Taratha last session. And so when Taratha like was doing going against something that they felt very passionately about, I was like, all right, now I got to kind of show what they are.
I mean, I feel like lots of the things that you are like, this will be no big deal, or this won't happen, or
Oh
like this
yeah,
is gonna be nothing, like ends up in these
being
like
something.
massive fucking struggles.
I think me
Honestly,
too.
honestly, I feel really bad because I brought up that we were being scried because I thought it was one of them. So you know, I
Uh huh.
I wasn't trying to like cause like the whole session to be derailed or anything. So I kind of like I
No, I
definitely
I
partway
don't think
through
that
I
was
was
at
feeling
all your
really
fault.
bad.
Like,
Nah.
Oh
no,
God, no,
please
it's not your
don't. Like
fault.
No, no, no,
that
no, no,
ended
not
up.
in like a super negative way, but I just meant like I was like, oh, I wish I hadn't done that. Not like necessarily like I did wrong.
Yeah,
But
no,
anyway,
I think
Yeah,
that
I feel you.
it. I mean, the thing is like when you have one person who is entire like one character who is entirely stuck in their ways, and another set of NPCs that are entirely stuck in their ways.
It's just not good.
Like that's neither one is gonna budge. You know what I mean? And the thing is yes, they're giving us a sixth or seventh level spell, like
It's
for us
third.
to like use. What?
Oh, that is the scroll. Yeah, sorry. Non-detection's a third level.
No, 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 no. Yeah, no.
Well,
No,
they're
I'm saying
giving
like
that
they. No,
for
no,
go ahead, sorry.
right, right. So, like the sixth or seventh level spell in return for what we're doing. But honestly, that is not enough for Tali. Like in terms of what they're doing, like that's good and all, but like that's not
Oh,
like
ooh,
they're here to spend months of their time like not only like
just to be clear, the scroll is for getting people. It's not for the act of training.
no, no, okay, so you're giving us a
Yeah.
sixth or seventh level spell that we just get to use at will, not using a spell slot. I'm not talking about
Mm-hmm.
like the teleportation stuff.
No, no,
I'm
I
talking
know.
about the initial.
Yeah, that is just for getting people. That is not for you doing it yourself. They have not talked about anything yet, but that does not mean that they're not going to give extra stuff for that.
So that is not how Tali understood any of that.
Mm-hmm. No, then they
Um,
did not get to that. Like the unfortunate thing is there's just so much to be talked about and so much to negotiate. And
and we
like
for
spent an
sure.
hour talking about not rings.
yeah.
Well, I mean, that happens, and that's fine.
That
And I think that
happens, right?
like it wasn't like a derail; it was more of like like it's just something that I think it's okay. But like my whole thing is like what Holly understands
Oh yeah.
is that that was their trade, and now like for the whole kit,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like the whole bit, like them being there, training and fighting with them, that is what they get in return. And like so far, the way that she thinks about it is like what they want for one thing doesn't equate like their system of bartering doesn't seem to actually like one thing doesn't seem to actually equal the other. And it's not like and you can't like always do it exactly equally, but like again, her biggest thing was write down all information that you think is important for 2 hours a day versus carrying pails of water, which is important to do, but one costs a player or costs a character way more than the other, right? Like,
I mean, it would be the same amount of time, like carrying water for
but
2 hours versus writing for two
that's not the
hours.
time. It's not the time. It's what's given. Like the water is important to be used that day. Information that Taratha knows a lot of shit.
Well,
Like if she
yeah.
was willing to like give up her information, like the amount that they would get in 10 hours of constant writing is so much. Like
I mean, they weren't
if she
asking
was
for
willing to
like
do
the
it.
secrets. They were just like, if you can write down Mage Hand that we already know, but we don't have it written.
It's raining. I'm gonna close the windows.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So, like, it was just essentially like writing down what you know and you're willing to share, or transcribing what we already know. Like, which I, above table, don't feel like if you're being asked to write something down for 2 hours a day, that's being dictated to you, or just kind of transcribing, like, very basic. Like, if I had to, like, if someone told me, hey, Kelly, sit down for 2 hours and write everything you know about Music Theory 101, that is easy as shit. And much easier for me than drawing water from a well for 2 hours. Whereas for Willow, that would be very easy and something that would benefit the community.
I'm back.
I mean, it really comes down to, in my mind, just the value of labor.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems that even though getting water for a third level spell just feels ridiculously punitive. Um, Especially because this is their problem.
I just think of it like dumb little Willow has nothing to give, so they throw her on water duty.
I mean, also, I think this is just like so far the party has clashed very hard with the Ashina, like every time because of this like sort of culture clash. Like they don't view it as an our problem, as in like the Ashina problem. They view it as these outsiders brought this shit in, and we have a means of
for the
controlling
record,
it. Yeah.
we haven't been butting heads. Like Willow has been butting heads, but I feel like every instance with the Ashina so far between Tali, Taratha, and them has been very amicable until today.
Oh yeah, I was lumping in Anya with that as well.
It also just feels like really short-sighted for a civilization that has existed for as long as it has and as advanced as it is to not understand the basics of scrying, and that letting in any outsider really opens up a plethora of problems. And granted, they're aware of that to an extent through the trial system, but anyone that's going to pass the trial is going to be someone incredibly powerful and thus are susceptible and probably a target for like divination spells like scrying.
Oh yeah.
It just seems like really just like a catch-22 in a way that is just ridiculous.
Well, typically people just get their memory wiped and turned around rather than getting to stick around or have a choice to stick around. Because, like, even with the semantics of what's given up and what feels punitive, like, would Taratha really have done something in exchange, even if she was the one that got to pick what she did in exchange?
I mean, I don't think Taratha would ever... I just don't think Taratha would ever put herself into... I don't think she really understood the dynamics of the civilization when, like, the whole, like, scroll thing happened. Because then she would have turn down that scroll. Like it's not worth it to her to ever be put in debt in these kind of ways.
So I'm curious, like above table, talking about that, because that like this is in exchange for their monetary any sort of currency. Like so when you put something into your shopping cart and you're walking around the grocery store, do you think that like I am putting myself into a debt because I am putting something that I intend to use but have not paid for yet?
It doesn't feel like that. It feels more like kind of like indentured servitude in a way. Like they kind of got like caught, like Taratha and everyone got kind of like caught in a really shitty situation, and so now a debt is being imposed upon them. like leaving the city also has an immense like there's an immense cost associated with that too. So it's like you have to assume the debt of the situation. Like it's a choice. It really is, but it's at the end of the day, it's not really.
Yeah, I think maybe part of it would be that like it feels maybe a little bit like we we traveled in the desert for months, or a month, right, or a couple
6
weeks,
weeks.
Yeah,
6
so
weeks.
it was
6
pretty
weeks,
long.
6 weeks. We did a challenge to fight these, like, we did these trials. We won the trials, right? We proved our worth in that manner, right? We, like, in my character's case, they were called here, right? To like, I know in your guys' case it's a little different. You were kind of sent in various ways. And then like to get here and like I know that we're playing kind of stubborn characters, and I don't want to let that overly go. But we
Oh,
kind of get here, and then it's like, can't get no respect, you know? Like, we did a lot to get here, and then, like, they're acting like we tripped out of bed, and now we're here talking to them a little bit. Does that make sense? Like we've done a lot just to get here and to talk to them and to help them, right? And right now we're not getting much in return. I mean, in Willow's case, she's getting literally nothing in return other than the ability to assure that her,
Oh yeah,
niece is safe.
we haven't even gotten to that part yet.
And so because like because like so like it would be nice if they were a little nicer to me.
I mean, they one second, my dog is cowering from the thunder and then just what's it called? Unplugged my headphones. I mean, do bear in mind that you guys came in asking to open up the Warforged.
Sure.
That was not their thing. They were ready.
Right.
They're just like, oh, if it's now the time, then I guess we will make it so that now is the time. So they did not ask you to do that. You asked them, and they agreed.
Ask them to do what?
To go to war.
Start up the Warforge.
Pretty
Oh,
much.
I
Yeah.
mean, because my character wasn't involved with that. Eric is
Right.
unaware. I'm sorry.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah.
So
I mean, that was what Tali and Taratha are asking for, and that is true. I don't disagree with you. And we came here looking for something, and Tali's getting a lot out of it, not from them,
Yeah.
but from like her own stuff. And she didn't know really the meaning behind the actions until she got here, which is like literally helping them ascend. And like she's not coming here to save them or any of that crap, but like,
and they're not sure if they will ascend or not. It's just they are going to see in the moment whether it's better for them to stay up there after the calamity or to come back here. So the reason why they're still looking to continue to protect this is because they might come back down here as soon as that meteor's thrown.
Ooh, big thunder.
Yeah. Peyton is just cowering at my feet right now, this poor dog.
They're not afraid of thunder. They're not afraid of anything. They're cats.
But yeah, above table.
I think part of it.
Ahead.
I think part of it too is that it doesn't feel like a bartering system so much as a favor system. And that like has nothing to do with necessarily with it being or not being a barter system, but like all three of us, and particularly Taratha, come from spaces in which favors mean something really different. Like owing a debt socially that way is really different from one person to another.
Taratha was the one that described it as a debt, though. They were just asking you for you to do something in return for the resources that you are using. Like, that's, like, the way that I feel like they presented it was not different than saying, all right, you are using $500 worth of materials, please give me $500.
I mean, that is the nature of debts. that is a debt, right?
Right, but it's not like I am going to hold this over you. This is not something that I am going to try and pull at a time that I get to choose. And
But from Taratha's perspective, I think we can see that.
oh yeah, absolutely.
That it's similar language, even if they're not using the words exactly.
But yeah.
And for,
go ahead.
I think, like, so like if I had been the DM in this situation, I would have been like, well, you need to fucking fix that. You better not have anybody scrying on us, or you need to leave. Those are the options. We happen to have these protection rings. If you would like to buy them from us, this is the cost.
But
or you can figure out another way, but you better have a different, like,
well, they said
by
that
the time
you could go
get
out.
back here.
They said that you could go out and get rings elsewhere. They didn't say that you had to use theirs. We just happened to argue about using theirs, and it dominated the conversation.
Right, but it turned into either put on this ring or we're wiping your memory. That is what that came down to in the end.
True.
Yeah, it didn't feel like, yeah, and that was also like the frustrating thing is I think Taratha wanted to like help them with the situation, but she had to assume that debt for that ring at that moment. Like, yeah, she could have gone and found her own ring, but that's time and energy spent carrying the knowledge of that city. Presumably unprotected.
But yeah, it is 5:03. I am starving, and I need to make a.
You did it.
Y'all.
Get out of here.
GG, everyone. We are gonna go back to the land of teleportation to cultures that you are from. I am so tired of the Ashina at this point right now. So if you never go back, I am fine with that.
Going to Franz's birthday party. See y'all.
But catch y'all next week, and yeah, we'll see what happens.
Bye.
See y'all.